I think it's on Netflix.
Seriously, how good was Beverly Hills Cop? Hey, folks, welcome to this week's live show. Hopefully, you're hearing and seeing us both okay. Give me a little comment. I still haven't got my streaming setup fixed to use my fancy pants camera, so I'm on my webcam, like Steph, so we're both probably slightly pixelated, slightly blurred out versions. It works well for me, though. I have
Yay.
terrible skin. Um, Main thing is, please let us know that you're hearing us both okay because I know how annoying that can be to watch videos and then have one person double the volume or all of that kind of nonsense. Big shout out to Juan who's in the chat moderating it for us. Thank you, mate, every week in here. I really appreciate your help. Um, so, sure, Kevin is saying sound sync issues. Do me a favor, Kevin, please refresh your browser, just check if it's not you. Um, so big thanks to Juan. If you have any questions, send them in. He sends them through on a different software so that I can keep track of them between the photos. We have almost 50 photos in total today to go through, so we'll have to be a little bit quicker, but I want to include everyone's entries. But before that, very, very important, how the hell are you, Stephanie Fan?
Just got my first vaccine shot today, so I'm a little bit out of it. And my arm is already sore. It's Yeah, it was kind of slowing me down in terms of doing work today, but
Hmm,
it's all good. Uh, Boston trip went really well. We filmed like 6 videos or something. It
awesome.
was hectic and came back after my trip and I slept for 12 hours. And yeah,
Give
it
yourself
was
the
an
chance to
exhausting
do
weekend.
that again in the next couple of days. Not being a daddy figure, but with I handled both the vaccines really well actually, but I think it was even though I kept working, I worked less, I slept more, and I drank a shitload of water. So, you're not going to get the virus, but you may be worn out and more easily to catch something else. So do take it a little easy just for a day or two.
Yeah, I need to learn how to do that. I have like so many things to do coming up, and it's one of those situations where I was like, okay, I'll get vaccinated after my trip when things have slowed down. Things have not slowed down. So yeah,
Things don't
there's
slow
that.
down until retirement or death. So you're used to that.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
so. But anyways,
I'm
how have you
glad
been? I haven't talked to you in a while.
it has been a minute. I did not make any
Yeah.
trips because I'm stuck on a little nation state here in Hong Kong. Not a lot of road trip opportunities in Hong Kong, unfortunately. But things are going great. Cats are good, wife is good, shooting's good. We've just put live the Kill Bill course. Well, not live, but up for pre order, which is kind of a self portrait. Well, you did your own styling and all of that, so kind of self portrait.
I mean,
We'll show some shots from
it
that
was
as we
I
go
think it was
through.
a team effort because can't really paint my back in like certain areas. You know what I mean?
It
So,
does make you,
but
sorry.
when I was like rewatching it, just going over the edit, I was
Hmm.
like, oh my god, I stood for so long just to let that damn paint to dry.
Does it actually make you wonder? I guess it's different. Maybe you can reach, but you wouldn't be able to do a good job of painting. But we had three people painting you from neck to ankle to wrist, every centimeter of your body. Does it make you wonder? I wonder if I've ever actually washed that area in the middle of my back or below
Oh
my butt cheek or
yeah.
something because you can't get there yourself to paint it.
Okay. Fortunately, I think the paint that we use, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't really paint. What was it? It was like
Pigment.
more powdery, I think. Yeah, it was pigment. So it was a lot easier to wash that off. I
Mm.
had done like paint before for like another photographer, and this makeup artist had to help me. And that, like some of that stuff does not come off. I remember we did a test, which we did not really think this through, but we took like this, I don't know, it's like basically a little kit, right? And we tried all the different colors just to see what it looks like on
Mm.
the skin, but instead of trying it on like my arm, we did it on my face, and we found out that like pink does not come off very easily. So I had a pink like weird trapezoid like next to my eye,
You look like
and it just
David
wouldn't
Bowie or
come
something.
off. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God, what was I thinking?" But like, yeah, there's just some paints that will require
Well, that
scrubbing,
that was the
and
funny
there are
thing.
times where,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Especially when
doesn't
it's your
work.
entire body. So thankfully, this one worked well. But
Yeah,
actually, last year we released the Maleficent shoot, and that we filmed
yeah.
after this one. And I think we did that because we were worried painting you head to toe in black, you might end up with a tan for the whole rest of the shoot because we were doing other art nude stuff. So we did the
Yep.
yellow one first and made sure the black would come off your arms first. But anyway, that is now up on pre-sale, guys. It's going to drop in a week. You'll be able to grab it and stream the whole thing with some raw files and packing list and all the pigments and everything that we use
Mhm.
to shoot. So we have
It's really good, guys. You should get it. Make the suffering that we had gone through worth it, because it was a long that we
You're
had
too
done.
sweet. We didn't suffer. Steph did, standing there still, like seriously, like a
It just
scarecrow, so that we could let the
carves
paint
out.
dry without cracking, and then you need to set it so then you are able to move around. And then I was flicking blood on her to make it look like she'd been in a fight, and then all of that good stuff.
The fork method
Um,
is actually really good. I should use that.
that's patented. Shh. You'll see the whole method in the course. All right, so we're going to jump in and take a look at our shots now. For next week, the theme is going to be cinematic, again, inspired by our Kill Bill one. So it could be that it's a cinematic looking scene, or that you're recreating a shot from a movie, or anything. So as long as it has a cinematic vibe to it. Now, before we get in and look at these self portraits, something I want to point out. I sent out an email yesterday to remind people about this theme, and then that actually brought in like 80% of our entries. Selfies have a bad name because just doing this can seem really narcissistic and kind of self absorbed, and it's the throwaway Instagram stories type thing. But taking a portrait of yourself is something that artists have done for centuries, like painters have done it. All the great photographers at some point have taken a self portrait, either something that they carefully set up, or they caught an interesting reflection of themselves, or in an interesting pool of light, or whatever, dot, 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 all the way through to Ellen at the Oscars, right? But this is not a beauty contest. I don't intend to really comment on anyone in particular other than how you choose to show yourself in an image probably says something about who you are and how you think of yourself and how you want the world to see you, right? But we're looking at, is it a good photo? So I'll say sorry in advance. This is nothing to do with your looks. But if it's just a really careless selfie with no thought seeming to go into it, we're going to move on pretty quickly and not give you much feedback. This is a photography competition, not a here's my face competition. Okay. Otherwise, Steph and I right now, there's our selfies. Well, Steph can't see me right now, so she doesn't know what I was doing. All right, so let's just go here. First of all, is three cheeky versions of me. Oh, gosh, look at me. Oh,
Oh, look
look at
at you.
that. I was skinnier then. Well, less fat then.
What
Um,
a model.
let's model idiot. Um, the little Kill Bill promo, and then this one is one that we shot, and then in the course I show how to composite it into the shot. As we go through the images to break it up, I've just dropped in a few different joke ones of this as well that you might have seen on my Instagram. So if you see the yellow bodysuit, which was inspired by Beatrice in Kill Bill, who was inspired by uh, Bruce Lee in Hong Kong, now rocking it by Steph, you'll know that's what it is. So, first shot, Adam Anderson 2. Now, Adam sent this one in as a second edit. I'm pretty sure you've sent in this shot for our self portrait comp before, but this is now cropped in more and you've gone to town on the clarity even more. The beard is glorious. I'm sure the hat tells us something about you. It was a little messier when it was wide, but to be honest, it told us more about you. Like right now, we can see there's an orange cable above your head, some hand sanitizer, some stuff on camera left, and an Apple Watch. The wider shot let us know you're in the cabin of a big truck and that you're a truck driver. So for me, that actually tells a better story. The edit kind of now you look like Gandalf who lives in a small apartment. But I kind of like the editing effect. So shall we do the same as before, Steph? I'll give my top line feedback. You, if you have something you really want to
Yeah,
add, jump in, and then I'll throw it to you to take the lead. Okay,
sounds good.
Adrian Moss. That fabric is interesting. It reminds me of like the shade cloth you see in a lot of South America, but then mixed with the what they call Chinese Louis Vuitton, the plastic bags that have that white, blue, and red for carrying stuff around. I really like the effect on you. Now, this is a typical kind of pose for men taking a self portrait, looking off, looking deep in thought. But I like it. You put together a styled shot there. The outfit goes together. The light is interesting on you. Nicely done, Adrian. Alexi Mateo Cruz. As I said, the kind of shots that we do as self portraits tell us, well, show the world, it's a way of us trying to what's the right word? Model ourselves and present a version of ourself, our life to the world, just like all Instagram influencers. Um, so here you're a crime fighting bad guy. No, badass. Badass. Um, the shot looks vaguely in focus, but it also looks heavily cropped and quite pixelated. I'm not really sure why. This says it was shot at ISO 400. Um, I personally would like a little bit more depth of field to at least catch the plane of your face in focus, even if that's keeping the other elements out. Daniel Ueda, I actually really like this one. Again, it's the looking off. Let's keep a count. How many shots here have eye contact
Oh, please.
versus looking away? So roughly, that's we have Steph looking away, we have Adam looking to camera,
Wait,
Adrian
should we
away,
guess the
Alexi
number,
away.
like, out of
I'm going to
47?
say 75% looking away. And then that's what we're at right now. Excuse me. And then Daniel, um, I'm guessing this means you're a taxi driver. The metro ticket there, the occupado, the looking to the distance. I'm just curious how you took this as a self portrait. Did you have a camera on a tripod or sitting on the hood of your car? If you're in the room, let us know. But I quite like that one. I'm going to give it a 1 star rating. Dave Crack, that's pretty looking straight into camera. Um, so he going for a technique that in this situation works well. He's shooting at f16. Everything's going to be in focus. Don't have to worry about missing the eye by an inch. And with no background or foreground to speak of, it doesn't matter if it's sharp or not. Um, like the lighting, like you're framing off to the side of frame. Going to give that a star as well. I'll take one more and then hand it to you, Steph. Here we go.
Okay.
David representing the looking off casually to the distance team. Not a fan of the vignette. Do love the styling though. I would probably just say maybe sit up a little bit more unless you want the message for the world to be I'm a stylish man with more forearms than head. It's the with the forearm being closer to the camera, it kind of makes your head sneak away. If you have any thoughts on those ones, Steph, jump in and let us know. Otherwise, take over on Mr. David Sinclair.
Pretty much nailed it. Yeah, let's see. So this one, I like I like the use of props. I think that that's like a really great way of having like self-portraits to tell more of a story. Like
Hmm.
just like the scenery or just having a prop in the shot really helps. Um, I don't play any instruments, and I think of this shot, I just really want to read your shirt. I think the light may be a little too harsh on you. It creates that shadow across your neck. Um, yeah, I just want to reach your shirt.
Something about I wanna something beer.
I think it's
Agree with
beers.
everything
It's
Steph
beers.
said. I think it could do with a bit more contrast, but I think the framing is excellent. Well done. Dirk Hassis and his lovely
Oh,
size 11 boots.
how do you know they're size 11?
Oh, I can size up a man by his shoes. I don't know. I'm talking nonsense.
Oh, that would be crazy. I feel like this isn't a true self-portrait because you can basically have anyone stand in place and say like, "Hey, this is me." But you could have a double. So, yeah, I just don't think it kind of falls. But I do like the use of props in this as well. It's like you have a
Hmm.
camera bag, you have a bike. Um, just would like to see your face.
Fair point. I don't actually know what the technical definition is. I sound like a valley kid. If it has to include face, I didn't want to disqualify this. I think that Steph's point about the props is really good. If the shoes, the bag, and the bike told us a clear story about who you are. Like if you were wearing, not that I'm asking for spandex photos, but if you were wearing like a cyclist outfit with those shoes they wear, and it was a water bottle and a cycle, and then your ripped muscular legs from being a cyclist, that probably would tell us enough about you to be, I think, satisfying the self portrait thing. But here it seems like you're a cycling photographist who wears inappropriate shoes for riding. Well, not really, because you're in the forest, but you know what I mean. It's not as clear of a story. How about this one from Mr. Ramlin?
Oh, I like the color treatment on this actually.
Mm,
The editing you did. Having a white shirt on a black background really helps the person like to pop out from the, I guess, just the background because I feel like a lot of times everybody likes to wear dark colors and then have it edited in this sort of way. I at first I didn't like the headspace, but then now I look at it more, the eyes are the center of the frame, and I really like that actually. Just because you have direct eye contact, so I say pink for me.
mm. Okay, pick from Steph. Nice. Um, and Friso.
Friso! I know Friso. um, okay, so this photo,
Okay.
I think too much headspace. And I think the light is a little too harsh because what is it called? Is it Rembrandt? That
Mm-hmm.
triangle. Uh, it's
It's
like
Rembrandt.
I think the light may be too much to the side and just too harsh. It creates like a huge shadow that's from your nose. And yeah, I think that's what it was. And I don't know what the clutter is in the back. But yeah.
Okay, fair. You want to, and so what was this? This was taken on an iPhone 6 front camera. Not a bad result. You want to take one more, and then I'll take a couple. And actually, I'm sorry, I'm taking this one. Giuseppe, that's a total snapshot and poorly edited. You look like a lovely guy, but that's not a great photo. I'm sorry. Jerry, this one's yours then, Steph. Jerry Dalton,
Oh, this is so serious. I like how moody this is. I almost get like X-Men vibes. Who is that like actor?
the one in the
Um,
chair, the one who can
no.
do shit with his head. So Ian McKellen, and I
Yeah.
roll with fury. That guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Someone in
really
the
like the
chat's
eye
gonna hit us.
contact
Let
with
us
this
know.
shot. It's probably gonna be Juan. Juan knows everything. Um, I think the crop is a little too tight, but I kind of like it at the same time because it's just so like in the eyes and just so serious. I think it's a
Hmm.
little too dark for me. I feel like maybe bump it up a little bit. I don't know. I just think it's a
Yeah,
little too dark.
agree. I actually put it up two-thirds of a stop there, and I think it looks better slightly up. I think it looks good as a dark shot, but I do think a little bit brighter works. And I mean, we don't need every shot frame the same. I can do without the top of his head and his chin in this one. Nice. Um, okay, so I will take a look at a couple more, then let's jump in and take any questions. Joe Coulter, and can I just say it's really cool to see the faces of some of the people in the chat here and that we've had
Yeah.
entries from so much. Selfishly, I'm just really
I
glad to see
really
them. There's
like this
one in
scene.
particular that I will mention at the time. I don't know why, but it was in my head that one of the people who's often in the chat, I don't know how it got there. I thought was like a late teens, early 20s guy who I guess lived in California. Maybe I mixed up names and then that's just the picture that built up in my head. But then seeing his photo, he's like a middle-aged man. So it's quite funny for me. Anyway, Joe
Oh.
Coulter. So I think it's a nice shot, well framed. Um, on Steph's point about the lighting, where you position the light and the shadows you want is going to be a matter of your personal taste, but then also your particular face shape. So it looks like the top of your nose bridge is quite strong. So here you're able to just catch a little bit of light in the second eye without having the light actually spill, so you don't get a nose shadow. Well, you do, but the nose shadow is basically covering the whole second side of the face. So I think it works really well. Mr. Heinz Herman. Karl Heinz, how are you, buddy? I know Karl. And that's a dashing portrait. You look lovely. He explained the lighting setup he used. I mean, as a professional headshot, this is really nicely done, right? Certainly not same as our last one. Certainly not a just a simple grab shot. Um, this and another one upcoming, I think, are just like brilliant kind of professional use headshots. So nicely done, Carl. Carsten, this is along the same kind of lines, but the direct light you can see doesn't craft the face as nicely as Carl's shot does. And it kind of looks like you surprised yourself. A little bit like your head's back, like you're kind of a little bit surprised that the flash went off. But this is also the impact that why a lot of people aren't a big fan of flash when the flash is so close on axis to the camera and it flatly lights everything. It's not very forgiving. And here is Steph defending herself from something that I believe is a cultural phenomenon, but I've not seen any of the movie or TV show or whatever it is that has this little fella in it.
Oh,
Um,
you didn't
and
watch
what
the
is he?
show?
What is it like? Yoda goes to college and he's bobbing for apples at a college keg party or something? What's going on here?
Um, I mean, I wish
Actually,
it was that cool. Do you want me to tell you what he's actually eating?
no. I want to think that it's something dangerous, and that's why you are ready to defend yourself. Snicky, snicky, snick. No, I
Oh
when I was
God.
going through and deciding what to put you on. So for those who don't know, as I said, I cut Steph out, and it's part of the Kill Bill tutorial showing how to do that to put together the little composite. Once you're cut out, you can pretty much just drop you in any shot, and then with a couple of different adjustments, adjust the color and lighting balance on Steph to kind of match the tone in the shot. So I was just thinking, what are some other threatening backgrounds that would work, like other ninjas or whatever, but then also what are the least threatening things that we could put her in front of just as a little joke. So this one was obviously one of the threatening ones that I wanted to include. So let's take a look at some questions. And reminder, next week our theme is cinematic. If you want to enter some shots, head on, oh, a shot, sorry, head on over to mattgranger.com/live. Do send through your questions for us. I want to help you guys out with whatever we can. Um, I don't see many here. One thoughtfully let us know that he forgot to send his photo through, but just imagine Brad Pitt, but the early Brad Pitt in Thelma and Louise, but also with the ponytail and a lot like kind of the muscularity in Fight Club, and that's pretty much him. Um, you know, Brad Pitt's like 55 or something. Still, what a hunk.
What?
Um, I don't see many
Oh, no
questions here, folks.
questions?
No, not that I can
Oh,
see.
thanks,
So,
guys.
folks, thanks for making it easy on us. Um, Vince Clark, if you want your profile picture rated, you should have sent it in for the comp. Sorry.
Yep.
All right, so let's jump back and take a look at some more entries. Now, I don't know who we're up to. Was it mine? Oh, I think I have a few more left. So this one from Kjell Javin, who has a hard to say name for me, and a chopper shirt. So I think you have gone for the classic technique of there's a beautiful background, let me stand in there, let me pre-focus on the tree, I'll stand near the tree, but not near enough, and the tree's in focus and you're slightly out. If you guys are doing this, I've done tutorials years back on YouTube about how to get correct focus. It's a lot easier now with cameras with eye autofocus. They'll just do it for you. But if you're using something without that, using a light stand is a great way. You can put it up, know that it's about at your eye level, focus on the tip of the light stand. Then you walk in and then just knock the light stand over once you put your eye right where the tip was, and you'll get your eye in focus. And in some ways, if it's the pensive looking out the window thing, I get looking away from camera in portraits. But in these shots, it almost looks like you're trying to make it look like a candid where you didn't know the shot was being taken. Um, I would also maybe consider you're using a 17 to 70 lens and you're at the wide end, stepping back, going in a little bit longer so that you could frame it up so it doesn't look like you've got a tree hairdo going on. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Christoph. We'll go with that. Another interesting sidelight. So it's kind of split between looking off from camera or direct eye contact with Rembrandt lighting so far. Um, Another kind of bad boy, simple black t-shirt, nice black and white shot. I think it's an effective shot. It's I don't know what to make of what's the character you're trying to present here of who you are. You kind of look just a bit angry rather than deep in thought or whatever. I'm not. Let me know if you're in the chat what you were going for. Um, yeah. Do you want to pick up on Quabina, Steph?
Okay, cool. I feel like this was a pretty simple shot, nothing too crazy. I think probably using natural light from the window, I'm assuming. Uh, yeah, I feel like this is a very Instagram type of frame or photo, actually. But I like it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and I just want to say too, I actually really do appreciate like photographers that reach out to me that do have some sort of like a headshot or a self-portrait of themselves on like their social media. Like for models, it really helps like I guess helps us understand like what you look like and who we can expect working with. Just putting it out there.
Nice. Yes, and I have to say I really like the framing on this one too. There's a lot of space, but it doesn't feel too much. Lars Oshi. While Steph talks, I'm just going to bump it up a third of a stop. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe like it's a tiny bit too dark. But I actually really like it. Your beard, like everyone's beards are just so majestic. Is this like the COVID like
Majestic.
hairstyle? Um, yeah, I actually really like this one.
Nice. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh wait, pick.
something about guys with beards who have the confidence to enter shots. I guess they maybe because half the face is already hidden, they can still feel mysterious, or just kidding. But like I said, this is not a beauty contest, and I really appreciate everyone entering this. Actually, we have a female viewer who entered a sensual self portrait as well, and this is the internet, so
Oh,
that takes loads of courage. So thank you to everyone who's entering.
so
And Vince Clark, thank you so much for the generous, I don't know what you call
oh,
that, donation thing. That's very kind of you. Cheers. And Lars, Steph gave you a pick, so here is your pick, sir. Um, and here is Steph facing off with her greatest challenge, the Nickelback Boys. Um, I would say go with the Jack Reacher method. Once you take out the leader, so decapitate the guy with the whole fringe of hair, um, probably
uh-huh.
just one or two will stick around and the rest will run out.
Yeah, I
So,
could figure that.
yeah. Um, Matt McGar, I want to give you a hug. What do you think of this, Steph?
That is awesome. I love it. I think it's different.
Pick.
Plus, whoever did the icing job on your head, like if you did it, that wow, that would be so impressive.
Do you think it's
Um,
possible that's just the top off a like a muffin or what do you call them? A cupcake?
like a cupcake.
Hmm.
Oh man, uh, that's hard. That would take some incredible skill to kind of like clean it off and then just slide it over. You know what I mean?
I
Um,
do. I love the whole atmosphere on this one because the top is so festive and
was
his
it your
face is
birthday?
so not. Is he in the chat, Matt McGarr? I want to hear more about this. Now, I'm not saying this, and it makes it reminds me. If you guys have ever watched Ricky Gervais and Carl Pilkington, he always goes on about Carl how he has a bald head and a head like a fucking orange. So I wonder if this got inspired by somebody saying, I don't know, your head looks like a loaf of bread or a cake or something, and then the idea of putting icing and everything went from there because I think it's absurd and cute and great.
I could see something like this getting big on Instagram if you just did a bunch of self portraits with just random stuff like on your head. That would probably blow up on Instagram. Because, social media.
Or
It's,
you do it just by the holidays. So this is like the Christmas icing, and then on Valentine's you do it with like a little love heart shaped candle. New Year's with streamers down the side of your face. Check if the Instagram name "My Head Is a Cake" is taken, and if not, take it, my friend. Nicely done,
oh my
Steph.
God.
Mike Foxworthy. Oh, and then he can do a collaboration with that bread face woman, and she can just smush her face against his face. Uh
Oh my
huh.
gosh.
Worlds
Yeah, if
collide.
bread face could like get big, then yeah, okay. Anyways,
Anyone could.
um, Mike, I this looks like a promo photo for a movie. Like you look like an actor that we should know about. I think uh
He's someone
I
who
don't
has
know.
the
I think
range to go from like Hamlet through to like the surly fisherman. He's got range.
yeah,
And this also looks like
yeah.
a composite, maybe inspired by Steph fighting Baby Yoda. So, got to give it
Actually, I
a
think
rating for that.
the the composite actually like works. I like the editing that was actually done to make this.
Mm. Nice. One more for Steph, then we'll jump to me. Mike Lesniak with a painted
At
face
first, I was like,
mask.
"Did you paint your face?" Ah, um, I like the colors. I actually really like the colors. Even the
Pick.
backdrop, like having its like orangey and yellowy too. Um, yeah, actually, even the lighting I think is pretty spot on. I think that's really
So
cool.
one is saying
Oh,
that
is
this
this
is
based off of
Scorpion.
like Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, apparently. But
I
I
haven't watched the
like it
movie yet.
just because it feels like it's a COVID conservative male recreation of Steph's Kill Bill as well. So body paint,
Yeah.
yellows, face mask, all good. So I've given that one a pick. So let me run through a couple now and then we'll jump back. So if you have questions, please send them through. Otherwise, this is going to be well, no, it won't be a quick show because we still have 48 photos or something. Neto, I'm pretty sure you have entered this one in the past as well, and I see this on your Instagram and your different pages. I I think we both said this last time. We like the shot, but I want to see what's under the mask. It, and I guess that's the point of a mask, right? Makes you want to know what's under the mask. But the vivid colors uh, kind of make it quite, what's the right word? Kind of surreal. This was the other one, Olay, that I thought was such like a baller professional headshot. The only thing is, it's such a tiny file. I wish you'd sent a high quality version through because that's actually the quality that we have to look at. It's teeny tiny. But again, you look like an actor with incredible range,
Yeah.
all of the range. Olivia
All of the
Lane,
range.
let's go here. Oh, no, let's go here. So this, I guess, is showing you in your photo studio putting together your shots. I love it. I would not wear a winter dress jacket to do my photography, but if your studio is chilly, and this is certainly a gentleman's look, I think it works nicely and well put together frame to have all of those elements in the background correctly exposed but not overpowering you. I, yeah, good job. Gonna give that a pick too. Olivier Lees. Um, this feels. What did you shoot this on? This feels. Oh, D700. Okay. It's got kind of an older world feel to it. Like the tones, like the strong eye contrast, bringing the two themes together of Rembrandt lighting and eye contact. Very nice. Um, Clean your sensor. Looks like you got a few dust spots in the background, but I really like this one. I'm going to give this a star rating. Patrick Lim, quite cool. I think this could do with a little bit more contrast, bringing up the highlights. That's just bringing up the highlights. Your shadows were deep enough that I think it adds contrast just by lifting the levels, or it adds perceived contrast by having the highlights close to correctly exposed, but then the eyes are still nicely hidden away in shade. I think that's really nicely done as well. So I'm on like a little pick frenzy right now, but another pick. Peter Ellsberg. Nice to see a face to the name. Thank you for getting involved so much of late. Um, yeah, again, it's kind of going with that same trend we have of the looking on camera, looking off camera, but here you've managed to nail focus right down at f1.8. I might frame it a little bit. If this is what we have to work with, I'd probably bring it in a little bit top right down. But otherwise, I might have just framed it a little bit further to the left. But here we kind of get it in all nice and tight on you that I think works really well. Good contrast, nice shot. Anything you want to add on that one, Steph?
Uh, Pick. So
Nice.
many picks.
Hey, Joe Coulter, thank you for your donation as well. Thank you, Joe, and thank you. Your
Oh,
name has disappeared. Um, Vince, it's
Vince.
not at
Yeah.
all expected, but appreciate it. Thank you. Um,
Buy the course, guys.
yeah, that's nice too. Get something for your money. Um, Peter Moni shot into a mirror with his Fuji X100. Now, is that enough of the face to satisfy your curiosity, Steph?
Yeah, I think so. The
Yeah,
eyes help a lot. Yeah.
that's
Is it in
plenty.
focus? I can't tell.
I think just, but it looks like a heavy crop.
Mm, I see, I see. I kind of
Um,
like the crop, actually.
Crop it like it's hot. Now, I see we've had one or two questions come in. Please send through some more. We're going to do a few more pictures, then come back for questions. Do you want to jump on this one, Steph? Pierre Bartholomew?
Bartholomew? Oh, glasses again. Um, Actually, yeah, what is your opinion about like self-portraits and glasses? Real
If you
quick.
always wear glasses, then, like, if I submitted a self portrait with no glasses, most of you have probably never seen me without glasses, and it might look quite odd. We get to know ourselves
Mm.
as being glasses wearers. So it's just the challenge of lighting it so you don't have reflections everywhere. And it seems Pierre's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I think a lot of times when I guess just people with glasses have to have their photos done, like I think the reflection is always like really hard to
Mm,
avoid, but I really like how this was done. I think the lighting is pretty good too. It's pretty soft. Nothing too harsh or crazy. I would just crop it in from the top left a bit, but then I kind of like you looking away in that direction. So I don't know. I like it.
mm. And
Yeah.
his eyes are on a nice point in the frame here. If we actually bring it just up a little, maybe that's a nice frame. Nice. Let's do two more, then jump back for some questions. Steph, which of these four would you go for first?
Oh no, I can't. I would lose. I would lose. Nope.
A neighbor of ours
Like
has
there's no
a
way.
tiny little Jack Russell puppy with like the long tufts of hair that they have when they're puppies. It's so cute. I've been kind of hanging out and trying to stalk him. So that one doesn't count. Let's look at one more here from Sean Codling,
Ooh, props again. I like it. I'm going to assume that you are a painter of some sort.
or a
Um,
drummer.
I like the pose too. What?
You know, they have those drum.
What?
I'm just being silly, but they have the drums that are also like kind of
Oh,
brushes to. Anyway, go ahead.
wait, do they?
Yeah, I think they're
Oh
metal
shoot,
though.
did I just assume wrong? I don't
No,
know.
no, he's a painter, I'm
I'm
sure.
just going to assume that you're a painter. Um, yeah, I like it. I think it would tell more of a story if because my vision or like my idea of a painter, it's usually like it's messy, you're wearing like a paint smock of some sort, but if you're kind of coming off with like a more professional themed like portrait to also kind of like say you're a painter, I think that this works too. I would have liked if you didn't crop your head on top,
Hmm.
but I think that's my only critique. I think just shifting over to the left and then leaving your head
Yeah, I
fully
really like the
intact.
lean through it, but either having all of yourself in at so a little bit more top and left, or at least top. I don't mind that there's extra space on the right. It creates a different kind of dynamism, but
Yeah.
I also really like the eye contact on this one. Sean Vine. Now, Sean is the one I was saying in my head I was sure was like an early 20s kid in California, but he's Sean and I don't
Oh
think
my
he
God,
is.
I had this same assumption. Hi, Sean.
You must have
That's
a
crazy.
playful nature, or like, isn't it interesting how once you have something set in mind, it can just stick forever? What do you think of Sean's shot?
Oh my God. I I'm a little shocked actually.
It's so nice to finally
Okay.
meet you.
Um, I know. Let's see. I like the catch light in your eyes. I think the lights maybe a little too bit harsh on the front. It's casting a huge shadow behind you. But then there's also light behind you too. So
Hmm,
I'm not really sure how you did that. But I think above all, I'm just really happy to like finally connect a face to who we've been chatting with
hmm.
in the chat. Holy crap.
Likewise. So it's a two light setup. Um,
Sean just said, I really wish that was true. Just turned 60. Dude, you look great for 60.
nice. I would probably give it a little more headroom, and I reckon you could actually zoom it out a little to have a bit of space on your, a bit more space on your right as well. And the head angle with the light position, I think works, but eye contact with the camera here would also, I think, work and probably be more engaging. Nice to meet you. Okay, one more, and then we'll go back. So here is Tanya Smith, and this was the one I was saying from one of our female viewers. So she entered into the leather comp, I think it was kind of a, oh no, it was the previous one, but it was like a bondagey type photo. And she was saying that she will regularly, if she's doing these kinds of shoots for clients, do the test shots herself. So she's kind of gone through the process of what it's like for her client to wear the new outfit or to go for a different kind of pose so that, you know, if she's shooting a female in this shot, she has had the experience on both sides of the camera before the client even gets there, which is kind of a fantastic reinforcement of what I was saying about
Yeah.
taking self portraits. We as photographers, if you're a portrait photographer, so often you hear, oh, I stay on this side of the camera. No one wants to see this ugly mug. That's not the right message to send to potential portrait clients that ugly faces belong off camera. Um, so, you know, there's a lot to learn by being the subject, whether it's for a self portrait or for someone else's photo project. Um, so kudos, and of course, Tanya, to put yourself out there in a boudoir shot like this as well. A lot of, not that there's any reason that it requires bravery, but this is the internet, so I think it does take an act of bravery. So pick from me, partly because it's a beautiful image, and partly because it's so great of you to have the courage to share that with us. Anything you want to add, Steph?
I mean, I think that that is such an awesome thing you're doing. I think more people, more photographers should do that if you can.
Agreed. All right. So thank you, Tanya. Let's jump out and take a look then at some questions. Questions with Steph and Matt. I still only see one. Um, Mr.
Oh,
Jerry Dalton. Matt, do you leave your tripod mounting plates on your cameras all the time or remove them when you're not using the tripod? Um, it depends on the camera. I have actually a bag here of tripod plates that I keep in my bag. Um, I would like to have all of my equipment using the same plates, and then so I use like a Arca Swiss plate on my Gitzo tripods, and then they allow me to put an adapter for my Black Rapids, which then there's no problem for me to leave it on because whether I have it on strap or in on a tripod, it works. But then my video tripods take a different head, which I don't actually have here, and then the monopod takes a different one as well. So I would really like to get them all back to using one plate. So that's the only time we mix them. But generally, the Sony stays on the video tripod plate, and all my Nikon stay on Arca Swiss plates. So if I need them on a tripod, I can. Okay, I don't see any other questions. I have a
that's
question
it.
for you. Steph, have you ever taken a
So,
self portrait?
uh, have I? That's a good. Oh wait, no, I have. Because a lot of times, like for acting, you need to submit like headshots or just like I guess this oh my God, what is the term? I'm going blank today. But you need to send like photos of yourself to casting directors and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. So kind of have to. It's always
Mm-hmm.
hard trying to find like a spot in my apartment that's not so cluttered. And a white wall is so plain and I need a lot of like distance if I want it to like bokeh out. So it's a process when I have to take photos of myself.
Well, that's why a white wall is great because there's nothing to bokeh out. We just got two more questions.
Oh, it's just shadows. Oh, really?
There you go. So
Hey.
just find a window, Rembrandt like yourself, fill up the negative space with a shadow. Joe Coulter, it's one for each of us. Well, it's for both of us, I should say. What's your favorite lens for street photography? Generally, I like 28 mil. Do you have an answer to that one, Steph?
I mean, I don't really have one for like street photography. If we're just talking about in general, like I have to shoot with a Sony for video, and I mean, then again, we don't really have any lenses, but I just have a 24 to 70 and a, oh my God, what is it? I just shot like last weekend.
50?
I would go with 50, I think.
There you go. And Casante, thanks for the critique earlier. I'm picking photography back up and starting with self portrait was the easiest, but how should I go about going for other subjects? Do you mean how to find other people to take portraits of? I would start with the people around you, whatever your genre is, whether you want to do fashion or editorial or art nudes, starting with people you know and already have a relationship with is a low pressure situation to go in and start playing around, build up a portfolio to expand out to other maybe kind of professional models who may be looking for that kind of work. Um, okay, very nice. Let's jump back in, and we're already up to tea with Tanya, so we must be getting close to the end of our entries. Thanos. I think this is very cool. Um, shouldn't use the center column though. That's really not stable. As if that's the point of the picture. Um, no, I really like it. So yeah. I mean, it's obvious what you're doing, and I think it's quite a clever shot. So nicely done and picked. and so kind of self-referential. Very cool. Tim Vandenbrand, your photo is as cool as your name. Um, Pick, that's a great shot. The tones of the orange and the green on the brush and the woody tones and your beardy tones. I think it comes together great. That's a cool shot. That may be as fun almost as the cupcake headshot. Nicely done. Anything you want to
Yeah.
add to that, Steph?
Pick. I feel like we picked a lot this time around.
Here is where the zombies come from. Dot zero. That's Steph. That's not a real photo. That's a
If
composite.
I was
I was
if
just
I was
joking.
actually like proficient in wielding a sword, I would totally have a sword like during a zombie apocalypse. If it was like Walking Dead type of zombies, because they're
I
kind of
would
slow.
still rather stick with a shotgun or something. Although I have to say, the funnest, well, not the funnest, I saw a fun Instagram post of a guy who's like a big fashionista saying the most terrifying thing about the inevitable zombie apocalypse is all the walking. That's all they do. Walk, walk, walk. Oh, my feet are already sore just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Um,
I I mean, we could go into a whole thing about zombies, but like I just think the zombies from like The Walking Dead is just so boring. Sorry,
that
anybody that
forgiven,
loves The Walking Dead.
forgiven. Um, the scary thing on this shoot for us was that sword that I ordered. So it is a Kill Bill themed sword. It's got the Hatari Hanzo logo on it. It was actually surprisingly well made. I mean, it's not traditionally made like the way the handle's made and everything. It's not properly hand wound leather and all of that stuff. And I'm sure it's not stingray and stuff in the sheath. But it came razor sharp. Normally, those kind of prop swords
Yeah.
come completely dull, like just couldn't hurt anyone. The tip would stab, you could cut through a person with it. It was like properly sharp, like a knife. So it was quite terrifying to have in a small space. I don't know that a t-shirt would have helped you, but it seemed more scary with a naked person wielding a sword, especially with,
I mean,
slippery paint and everything.
I didn't even think about that actually. I think if I just had the sword, then I'm like, all right, cool. I won't mess up, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she
As long as
wasn't
I was like,
looking at
okay,
it thinking,
don't fuck
"What?
around with the
Where
sword.
is the enemies behind me?" She was just like, "Don't drop this, I'll lose a toe. Don't drop this, I'll lose a toe."
Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
Oh, and also the blood was what was like worrying me because it's just like, Matt, it's dripping. It's dripping.
Well, that's what we wanted. Those drips you see near her chest and then near her shoulder were real drips. Not added. We've got a couple more photos, and I see some more questions coming in. Thanks, folks. So send through any more because we're almost at the end here. William Richards. Ooh, psychedelic man. So he is developmental center staff, Mr. Bill. Doris Carlson. Uh, it's fun. Good to see some different creative shots. I don't know that this mix of particular gel colors works great. The blending across the middle of your face looks a little bit like a hypercolor tie-dyed t-shirt, but I think it's really cool that you're getting out there and experimenting with gels and doing something different. And just can we have a round of applause for all the beards? Why isn't all the beard men
Yeah.
have all of the courage? Very cool. Nicely done. Um, William Siegel. What do you think, Steph? Does this count?
Uh, not really. I feel like this is also a grab shot, but yeah. I feel like if there was like more to it, but I would prefer to see your face.
See, this is the funny thing.
I don't know.
If you,
That's what I would define as self-portrait.
so if this was done like this, and then you could say, oh, it's a bit of a grab shot, or the white balance is off, or it's a bit blurry, or whatever, whatever. But if it turns out this was a self portrait of like Banksy, people would be like, oh, it's so amazing. He's like, it shows his disdain for this
Yeah.
and the recklessness of that and the something of postmodern blah blah blah. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a cop out. Wissam. Uh, I don't know if the tones here are a little cool. It's hard to tell. I think maybe a little bit harder light or a little bit more light because I think, again, the glorious beard, we're missing the detail. Let's see. I wonder if the detail's there. Yeah, so if we overexpose it like crazy, the detail is there. So we could grab ourselves a cheeky old brush and brush in some gloriousness. Oh, look at the glory. Glory, glory, beady, beard, beard. Glory, 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 beard, beard. There we go. So if we see that now on and off, what do you guys think? Off, on. Yeah, I think so too. Wolfgang Harnisch. So I think he took this one not far from his home to as a a comment on social like isolation at this time with all of the social distancing. I like the concept. I feel like the edit is just overdone though. It's like very, very, very obviously had light added and a vignette added. I think it could have been done more subtly, like you could maybe shoot it at twilight and then have you holding a mobile phone or something. So that's what's giving you light. Something like that could be an interesting way of doing it, or maybe just a little bit more subtly than this. But I like the concept. King Stephen is giving us a kissy face in the chat. I think that must be this gentleman here with the glorious beard. Thank you.
Oh.
Um, and here is our last shot. Oh, no, that's me again. Steph
Uh,
with Big Pussy, Chrissy, Tony, and I'm blanking. What was his name? Consigliere. Somebody help me. Um, oh,
Juan?
far left. Oh God, I can't believe I'm forgetting. Anyway, um, of all the nicknames on the show, Big Pussy definitely wins for the funnest. So let's now take a look at our rated shots were these, and but I want to look at our picks. Now, will any of them deserve a pick as well? Hmm, I think you guys are both pickable. So now let's take a look at our overall picks. Oh, we actually have like over 10. No, yes,
Oh
11.
man.
So I can choose four off the bat. We had some great entries, and I want to reward more people for getting out of their comfort zone and taking this, although some of the ones I'm choosing I think were right in their comfort zone by the looks of things. And I'm going to give you all a copy of the new Kill Bill guide. Steph, do you want to say if there was one or two standouts for you, and if they're in addition to the ones that I'd chosen, we'll give them all prizes.
It's so hard to pick. You guys have such amazing like shots this time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Can we just stick to the four that you've already picked?
No, no, just say
I
yours,
can't
because
I can't narrow it down.
no, no. But so then, what was just a favorite one or two? Come on,
Okay,
sack up.
okay, hold on. Let me see. Um. Oh man, you guys make it so hard.
That's what he said.
Okay, Matt, the cupcake
Cupcake.
icing thing, I can't like get it out of my head. Like that's just it's too good. Um. Oh, you guys, why?
If you want to call that your one, that's fine. He was on my list too.
Okay, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Man, you guys, why?
Okay, so it's going to be Matt McGar. Congratulations. Tanya Smith. Congratulations. Tim
Yay!
Vandenbrand. Oral hygiene is very important. And then I was tossing up, honestly, any of the ones shown here I think are great and deserve a round of applause. But I'm going to make our other one Thanos. I think that's a really cool shot of a shot of a shot of a shot of a shot. Very Inception. Um,
I would also like to see the shot that he shot
of a shot.
from the shot.
Although that camera does not have the flash trigger on, so I think it may have been totally black. So, our winners
Oh.
then, these four, thank you, thank you. You all did a great job. And don't forget, next week, our theme. Oh, and look at that. We only have 1.5 beards in the finalists. We'll call those mutton
Oh.
chops of Tim's a half beard. Um, and I mean, Tanya's is very shadowy, but I don't think there's any beard in that shot. So,
Probably
congratulations,
not.
everyone. Do get in and enter your cinematic theme shots. And that is tied to the Kill Bill course that we have coming, head to toe body painting with Steph, and Jonathan also helped us do it. That's on pre order and it goes live in a week, pretty much exactly right now. So let me know if you have any questions on that. Thank you so much, Steph, and we'll see you all later. And huge thanks again to uh, Juan for doing the chat. There's a comment in the chat here saying Paulie Walnuts. That was not Paulie Walnuts. Paulie Walnuts had the wings in his hair. That was it's Sil or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, thanks, guys. For Troy and anyone else asking where to enter their shot, head to mattgranger.com/live. Every week, that's where we update what the theme is for the following week, and it has the instructions for sending them. Please actually read the instructions because some weeks, if I know I'm going to be on the road, I'll ask for smaller file sizes. If I'm in studio, then I'll ask for larger ones. If I want it to be shot this year or whatever, I list all of that there as well. So I'll be going there in 5 minutes to update next week's theme as cinematic. So thank you all. Thanks again, Steph. Thank you, Yobo. Thank you, Juan.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great weekend and
Thanks,
week, folks.
everyone.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Boom, 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 boom,